Are you able to still identify new talent when you listen to music? Are you somebody who gets excited who hears a new voice? Will you like have your team connect with them and call them up and say let's experiment?
Yeah, I find people on Instagram, I DM them,
Really?
and yeah, they go per second. So in a way, because then there's no in betweens,
Radio City.
You have one of these big hustis, and जब भी आप सोचते हैं, you got to meet someone big. I wonder what goes through their mind. The whole world will carry their baggage of uh, A.R. Rahman's music, A.R. Rahman sir, A.R. Rahman's big awards. I've always wondered, how do you approach chatting with people who you met probably 30 seconds before? And then suddenly they'll have all these questions about you. Do you like this interview process as a celebrity, plus also somebody who everybody reveres so much?
I actually, it depends on the project. So, I forget all the past usually. It's all about the present. And there's no luggage on my head. Like, nobody cares what you did yesterday. Of course, people listen to it on, on records and all this stuff. What matters is how good you are today. That's the most important thing. And what, as a good person or a bad person, or good musician or bad musician, are you dedicated? Are you passionate enough? And so my challenge is every day, be healthy, do some stuff, whatever we signed on, make it the best. And that is my state of mind. Yeah, because each things are changing constantly. Things are evolving. Past generation is different than another generation, and you have to keep up with it if you want to. Otherwise, you can also avoid it and say, no, I don't want to keep up with it. I can be in my own sweet world. And you have to choose which one you want.
You've always been ahead of the curve, but when you think back of the music that you did, you understood beats so much faster. You understood the different kind of rhythm. I mean, almost 30 years now. Sometimes, are you shocked at how much technology is there in music now, since you're one of the pioneers of it? Now it almost seems most of the time, unless we listen to someone like you, a lot of the times you will say 70% technology. Music is still great. It still sounds great. The audience seems to like it. But are you shocked at how much technology has taken over music?
I mean, it's inevitable. Like, those days we had to book a call for doing trunk calls, and and now it becomes like it's free. It's a video conferencing. It's now we're talking on a free, app.
Yeah. And for now it's free. Yeah.
I used to think it's going to cost like multiple 20 times more, and no, it's free. So I think in a way it's reversed.
Yeah.
And this has been a boon for learning. It's been a boon for. So we have to look at the good part of technology always. I always feel like we can't be cynical and keep complaining, but we need to. There are certain things, hidden things we need to prepare our young ones for, our society for. For instance, when internet came in, it was such a boon. At the same time, the whole music industry was killed because of internet, because of Napster and all those torrents, downloading. Even now, movies are made with so many people's lives in it.
Yeah.
And then someone puts it out. It's like a murder of creativity and disrespect in a way. But then we have to find ourselves more ways we have to become more intelligent and be more risk-rate, more, exactly. So we have to rise to that occasion.
Yeah, as somebody who's been involved with such close sounds across the world also, are there still some instruments that you would end up using that cannot be replicated? As a music composer, I've always wanted to know, can everything be replicated now, or do you still feel that there is that genuineness of an actual instrument, an actual live recording, or do you think that's overrated now? So when we do radio, sometimes they say live radio or deferred live radio. Both are the same. I mean, if the person is honest to it, do you think that there is still some of that genuineness left in instruments?
That, of course, like the resonance and the harmonics you get in a string instrument, or how an instrument reflects in a particular room, or a church, or a temple, or a masjid, or in a recording hall, or a particular. So there are many aspects, and we are much more now. We're knowledgeable about. If this music is heard in this particular hall, the impulses are collected from there. And they put it again on a synthetic. This is the Notre Dame Church reflection. We want the Taj Mahal, impulse. And so, to answer your question, actually, what I love now the past 10, 15 years is the interaction between very switched on musicians. For instance, I'm playing with a guitarist and then I'm on the piano. And the energy between two of us, or there might be a bass guitar also, the energy between us actually creates something which could be a musical mistake, and that sounds cool. So this never comes with a single person sitting and dragging, dropping loops from your browser.
Yeah.
This is now there are sites having all those loops, so you can drag drop those loops. Yeah, my music sounds good. But I think that's what should happen now. The cross pollination of energies, which is not. Some people are like, there's a band called Marty Bunny, which they're trying to do something.
Yeah.
I was pretty stunned about how they're collaborating, and I think they've won
all across the world. They do it all across the world. They have
there's
musicians
one
that are giving.
that, and this from the south. Suddenly you see Shermani collaborating with a hip hop singer in America, and that's also cool. But because of COVID, I think we're all limited with this video boxing, and this has latency, right? It's not a spontaneous thing, sitting in a room and playing.
Unfortunately, I think we're learning how to live with this. You're truly an international artist. A lot of people actually, you can't call them international artists because they're mostly in the West. There are artists that from India that have gone abroad and that have really played across the world. Do you think that music now is truly global, or is there still a very different world that exists and the East doesn't always meet the West? I mean, the Eastern artists and Indian artists know about the West, but the Western artist will still say, "Oh my God, that's an interesting sound." Has that amalgamation happened from both sides, where we find it very normal to listen to Western sounds?
I think there is a huge wall there. The wall is not musicians who can't interact with the West, and it is the power which sits there saying that no, you have to listen to only this. That still is there. Now I think some of the apps like Spotify is putting crazy playlists. They're suddenly putting a film song from India in a Western playlist. So I find that my son used to come and say, like, your song is there in this playlist. I said, "Wow, that's Hindi. How did you put it in English playlist?" I know, they felt it's cool, and then they put it.
Yeah.
So I think now the possibility, I think everything has to be reinvented, and the world needs kindness. The world needs curing. The world needs more intelligent, programming, where people can understand another culture, understand another music. And for instance, I did a Coke Studio show called, and then there was one song called Zaria. It was dedicated to women of the world. So we had a Nepalese nun, a Tibetan nun, and then we had a Jordanian singer, Arabic singer. We had an Indian chorus. Wow. And so it was here, and then I played it to my friends abroad, and they just sat down for like half an hour and said, "Can you discuss about this? Why is this not in CBS? Why is this not in MTV?" And I said, "No, there are certain things which could change, and now it's changing because of YouTube and other things. Something goes viral, we all listen to Jerusalem, things which you don't even know about it, but it will change. I think hopefully." Somebody should invent the Uber of music next.
I think they've invented something that changed music forever, which was 15 seconders, when it was TikTok first. It helped us rediscover music. Are you shocked as a musician and as a composer, you'll spend hours creating? And today, 15 seconds is strong enough sometimes to get the voice across. Do you think that puts a lot of pressure on you? A lot of pressure on you as a composer?
No, it's yes and no, because when something is new, it's like a toy. So you just use it to the most and you throw it. After then you go back to the dal chapel. You go back like, where is my soul food? Where is my real music? Where is my classical music? Where is my deep folk music? You go back to that. And so your heart is actually wanting to hear that stuff. And it's important that, radio stations and TV stations, all of them program in a way that there is beautiful programming where people can really sit and hear beautiful stuff.
I think that's happening. And, I think a lot of people in the last year and a half experienced something that I think, in a sense, you have experienced forever, always in your studio creating music, and you've been in touch with artists. Was Corona purely from a creative perspective? Was it tough for you at all, or was it just normal?
For the whole world, it was tough. It's not
On the
just
outside, yes, but sometimes creatively, because you're sitting in your, were you able to get lost in your own music and then create in the same way?
I think for me, I've been doing this lockdown for 29 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in my studio, in the nights, there's nobody, not even my family.
Yeah.
Or in the early mornings, there's nobody. And just that one assistant who bring breakfast or coffee. And so I've been dealing with this for 29 years. And then the only thing I missed was taking a flight and going to LA or Paris or anything where going to doing a pilgrimage. That because that used to give me my excursion. But anyway, now I put wallpapers and see stuff.
Really, you've got wallpapers where you buy. That's your travel budget.
I went TV, Apple TV.
Acha, like that. Sorry, still more technical. You make film music sometimes now, not all the time. Last year we had a gem, especially in the north in Bollywood. Dil Bechara was beautiful. It's just soulful. There's a trademark that you have now. You got Mimi, which as the film also, when I saw it, I loved it. It was very sensitive as well. So of course a faster track in that. But generally, does a film entice you as much anymore, or do you want complete freedom? Working under a person's vision, can you still get excited by it all the time?
Yeah, I do get excited because when something is thrown at you, you for instance, what I wanted to do, I did in my 99 songs as a story and more deeper things. And I knew that the audience won't be I won't get the full mass audience, but the amazing kind reviews and still people start, oh my God, I just saw, I don't know why I didn't see this so long. So, this kind of things. And of course, I think people slot you in a way where, oh, you only do this big patriotic movies and big, period films. So you do one and then they feel like you can only do that. And so because Dinesh Vijay and me, we worked on, there's a film with Arif, we did, Lekar Hum Deewana Dil. And we worked on a song. He said, I still know the experience which I worked with you. I mean, how in 2 hours we cracked a song. I want to do that again, sir. I said, okay, please come in. And I showed him my trailer, around a couple of years back. And we met again. I said, can you do this movie, please? And we already finished shooting. We have one song left. I said, sure, show it to me. And then lockdown happened. So, so we had fun working. And they'd already finished the movie. Just that one song was remaining. So I had all the visuals to look at and reinterpret the whole.
People have writer's block. They need to go out. They and everyone falls into a tag of creativity. You faced sort of pressure all your life, because you set the bar so high. So everyone always goes, where's he going to go from here? Have you ever had bouts where you just say, that's it, I'm done. I can't think of it right now. We'll figure it out a month later.
Yeah, sometimes, it's the body. You have to check how your physical energy is, how your mental energy is. You don't want a bad email or a SMS coming in on your desktop. Or you have to pay tax, you have to pay this many crores tax. And then you can't compose. So you finish all that stuff and you just sit and meditate and then you sit.
But have you ever received one of these, I don't like this, AR, can you redo it? Do people actually send that to you? Because I've always wondered if they can.
Always.
Yeah?
Honest, because if they pay me stuff, and if I give a designer, architect, and he brings a design, I might have a different orientation about the whole thing. I said, I'll show him a thing, can we do something like this? And then he comes up with something original. Oh, you said this, this, this. So we took all the ideas and come up with something. How do you like this building plan? Music is also like that. And that's why I think I'm surviving more. If I were to create something, my influences are only musical, not about life or what audience needs and everything. So each team come with their own requests. Now we want something like this, we want something like this, because in this, the Param Sundari was the one which took a lot of time, and probably around, I did like 4, 5 or 3 full songs were done. And even though all 3 were liked, the lyric fell correctly on, this one.
Okay.
Param Sundari. So we felt like this is close to the character, and this is close to what we need, and it's got the energy. So director and producer both decided that this would be the song.
Is there a particular, when they say now we want the Rahman touch? I know a lot of people will say,
I don't even know what it is.
So this is the track and we want the Rahman touch. Have you had, like, in Hindi we say takya gala, there is always something that you want to put across. There is that flavor that is there, in performances and actors, they always have their own, sort of, Shah Rukh has their Shah Rukh style to it. So when they say there's a Rahman touch to it, is there actually something that you can find a pattern in your own music when you go back and say, okay, I know that this is my kind of music and I can understand this is my sound?
No, that's a trap.
Yeah.
It's a trap which will finish you. Because the touch is already done. I already touched it. So I have to find some new touch. But there are inevitably certain choices which each composer makes. There's certain progressions and certain harkats, and which feels good to me. And I feel like because if I feel good, they will feel good. And that's the only instinct I follow. If I feel something is new, they feel it's new. If I feel like I've heard this, but they might like it. That is the trap which you should never go into it. I don't like it, but they might like it. They will never like it. In fact, because they're listening to your song more than you.
Yeah.
If you listen to a song 100 times because you're arranging and composing and producing it, they're listening to it 2,000 times. So they'll get fed up fast.
Do you go back and ever feel like like a lot of people do that? Actors will watch their stuff that happens a lot on TV, and because you've got so much of music everywhere, do you go back and do you say that was a totally different me and I don't know what I was thinking with that kind of music? Don't name it, but I'm just saying, does that happen to you ever?
I tell you, like, it's not me alone. Suppose I worked with Ram Gopal Verma, his energy and his enthusiasm, that triggers something. Oh, he likes something, so let me give him more of that. Yeah, I worked with Ahmed Khan now, and he likes certain, likes beats, and that's okay, he likes this, so let me give him more. And then he gets, oh my God, amazing, yeah. So he sent me an SMS. And that is the kind of fun. So you trigger that stuff, and there is still enthusiasm left in everybody. So I'm working with Raja Menon now, and on Pipa, and we connected on different levels. So, I'm working on, and the movie is also very interesting. I've done a movie like that, I think. And yeah.
I think it's very fantastic. You and Shreya also, there are a few singers, Arijit and Shreya, Sukhwinder in the industry, when you think about them. Do you also marvel sometimes at the talent that they've also managed to keep on for so many years, and just continue to sort of fight and find a new space, which probably didn't exist earlier, over the years?
I think Shreya definitely, because Arijit just came around 8 years.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
And he's consistent and amazing, a great musician, nice human being. Sukhwinder, that he's also a composer, poet. Yeah. He's a bad man.
Yeah, he is.
And he can, even if you're at the lowest point, some people like Sivamani, Sukhwinder, Rajat Baro, you can never be in a low when you're with them. They heighten your whole, energy.
Yeah.
And Sukhwinder especially is constant, very active. And Shreya, I think she has even a voice evolved. She sounded very thin before in Devdas, and then became now it's really in the sweet spot of whatever you can throw at her at ease.
Are you able to still identify new talent when you listen to music? Are you somebody who gets excited who hears a new voice? Will you like have your team connect with them and call them up and say let's experiment?
Yeah, I find people on Instagram and DM them.
Really?
And yeah, they go per second. So in a way, because then there's no in-betweens,
Yeah.
And sometimes they take a shot and put it on. Look who he became.
Yeah, because they'll double take, right? It can't be the real A.R Rahman sir messaging us. I mean, a lot of
No, but,
that also.
yeah, but
obviously
there is a tick mark in it. Right? So,
yeah.
so that shows it's not like a. Sometimes people say a fake account. Like, oh, did you post this? No, it's not me because that's a fan account. Or, and I don't have to. Sometimes I just shut off. Sometimes when you say the blocks happen, then you do all these things and waste your time looking at not waste your time, like discovering new talents and stuff.
Yeah. Just before I leave you, I was watching some chats of you all used to love watching cinema. Do you still find the time to watch a lot of cinema? And there's some kind of favorites that you've had in the last year or two? Have you spent a lot of time watching OTT and series and all that as well?
I actually kind of desensitized to so many things coming at me. And I think for the past 1 month, I've shut off completely, not watching anything. I just look at I'm in the hotel where I'm just looking at the sea, and it's very therapeutic. And
wow. So your screen time is like almost zero.
Because screen time only for emails and things like that. And we're working on a couple of short films and so producing short films. So we're just ideating for that and that stuff. Sometimes you need to shut off and just look at nature, because you can learn nature from another realm. It's not just the visual, but there's some other energy which comes to you.
I'm sure you'll be using the sound of the waves also very soon. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. It's always such a pleasure and a humbling experience chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Radio City.